So let's talk about Ampex, or also known as Quantegy, and earlier known as Irish, the Irish brand, or Radio Industries. Irish was started by Radio Industries by Benjamin Orr, and he was famous for starting the ferrocene process. This is some of the older tapes. This is a classic Irish brown band type 195 tape. This actually has a really old, the old 6-window reel before they even made their own reels. One of the oldest tapes from Irish. Later they were famous for this famous 2-window reel for their ferrocene tapes. You can find their tapes. They really took off when they rebranded under Ampex. One of the things about Ampex is that they always further developed their ferrocene process. Most of their early tapes were similar. I actually have a PDF available online for all the Ampex tape types. Early tapes were the 900 series under Collector's Library, really the same as the 300 series and the 500 series with their classic 3-window reel. Interesting, they had a very consistent naming scheme for a long time, where the digits actually meant something. So on the 541, 5 means the series. The second digit is really what makes the difference in terms of what the tape is. For example, if it's 1, it's a standard tape acetate. 2 is long play acetate. 3 is standard play polyester. 4 is long play polyester. 5 is double play polyester, and 6 is triple play polyester. So like there's different lengths for the different series. The 200 series is Irish. That's similar to the 300 series and 500 series of Ampex. There's not much difference there. There's also the 600 series, which is the highest form of this standard tape series. So here in this case, that's 631, and I have those mentioned in on that PDF. So Ampex were making these standard tapes for a long time, and they also got into the government contracts. So there's an absolute ton of 641 out there. And there's also this other tape that they made called the 671, which is an extended low noise tape with a very thin oxide that has a low output but has a very good high frequency response. And there's a lot of that available, 671, and we sell a lot of it here. This 600 series, or any of these ferrocene tapes that were made through the 70s and early 80s, are fantastic quality tapes. Like I mentioned before, my favorite of the early tapes are these Ampex tapes in any of these forms because they're all very reliable and are good, solid tapes. Once again, they did produce low noise tapes. That's with the last number 4, 314, 414. These tapes were made through the 70s. Also very good tapes. They really innovated the most, though, in the mid-70s when they brought out their Grandmaster tapes. These are the tapes that are famous for sticky shed, but also had extremely high output. It started with the Grandmaster but it ended as their last consumer tape. Then they went to just branding their 400 series tapes as professional tapes. The 406 being their standard one, and then the 456 is the famous super high output tape that became really the studio standard over time. Later that morphed into the Ampex 499 as an even higher output version. Ampex basically went out of business and was reformed with Quantegy. Quantegy purchased the tape assets from 3M and became the company that actually made both of those formulations. The Quantegy GP9 was really the Scotch 996. There was some other Quantegy formulations that were previous Scotch formulations. But Ampex is famous for the Ferrocene tapes and really the 456 high-performance tapes. They're also famous for all the horrible shamrock tapes and concert tapes that they unleashed into the general public. But their good tapes are good and are highly recommended. I also found that they also have this 291 and 292 series, and it seems like they also put the concert tape and shamrock rejects into them. So be careful about those. A couple of asides. They brought a nice low noise, high output tape out in the late 70s and 80s to compete with Maxell's UD. That's the 632 and 642 tapes. Those are also excellent tapes. They're not back coated. And just as a point of trivia, those tapes were also available from Radio Shack for a number of years in these boxes. This is the last Radio Shack reel-to-reel tape sold up until Quantegy ended production. This is actually the 642. So if you find these are actually very good. I sell them as 642s in case you are interested. This is the other packaging of Ampex 642 that Radio Shack had. And they only sold these really in the 80s into the mid-2000s. Like really the last consumer tape sold in the United States was really Ampex 642. Not much more to say about them other than there's a lot of it out there, whether it's Sticky Shed or whether it's the government contract tape. A lot of it is usable, so use it again.